Hot news today.
Toyota unveils new RAV4 in Japan. US unveils $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense project. UK intensifies pressure on Israel. Toyota unveils new RAV4 in Japan. Toyota City, Japan, May 21, 2025. Toyota Motor Corporation, Toyota, unveiled its new RAV4 to the world on May 21, with plans to launch the model in Japan before the end of FY 2025. The RAV4 had its beginnings in 1994, when sport utility vehicles, SUVs, were positioned as off-road vehicles. It pioneered the crossover SUV genre for both on- and off-road driving. Since then, the RAV4 has evolved into a beloved model around the world. For 5 generations, it has continued to meet the changing lifestyles of the times. Launched in 2019, the 5th generation RAV4 was developed to further enhance its unique appeal as a model for new lifestyles. It was developed on the concept of a robust, accurate vehicle with 4-wheel drive as a sophisticated blend of the power and utility of an SUV. It also adopted a new platform based on the Toyota New Global Architecture, TNGA, Toyota's structural innovation within the automobile manufacturing process. It delivered responsive driving performance with maneuverability and stability for any road surface. Under the concept of life as an adventure, this 6th generation RAV4 seeks to become a vehicle that allows any driver to enjoy an active lifestyle. The unique driving experience of the RAV4, which was further improved in the 5th generation, has been advanced with a newly developed hybrid system that enhances acceleration. The result is an evolved RAV4 that feels like it can go anywhere and do anything, with functionality and cutting-edge intelligent technology focused on ease of use for the driver. The key to advancing vehicle intelligence is ARINE, Toyota's first software development platform. By utilizing ARINE, Toyota aims to achieve a greater level of safety and peace of mind, as well as enrich the mobility experience to make the new RAV4 a companion that fits seamlessly into various lifestyles, whether in urban living or outdoor adventures. Toyota will successively roll out the new RAV4 to customers in over 180 countries and regions globally. The details of the new RAV4 are as follows. Powertrain. Design. 3 styles. Intelligent technologies. Vehicle details. A car that feels like it can go anywhere thanks to a powertrain that leads the way in electrification. The new RAV4 comes in PHEV and HEV models, with the PHEV models featuring a newly developed plug-in hybrid system that combines a high-capacity drive battery and high-output charger compatible with Toyota's latest 6th generation hybrid system, making its first use of the system. US unveils $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense project. Donald Trump confirmed that Space Force General Michael Getline will oversee development of the Golden Dome anti-missile shield. We're talking about $175 billion total cost of this when it's completed, Trump said. This is very important for the success and even survival of our country. It's a very evil world out there. The project stems from a January executive order that called for an Iron Dome for America, taking cues from Israel's Iron Dome, designed to counter short-range threats using technology. U.S. military officials have described the Golden Dome as a system of systems, combining traditional defenses with emerging, largely untested technologies. Trump said the Golden Dome will take 2.5 to 3 years to be completed. But the option that Trump chooses will determine its timeline and cost. The $25 billion coming from Republicans' budget bill is only set to cover initial development costs. The final price tag could exceed $540 billion over the next 2 decades, according to the Congressional Budget Office. UK intensifies pressure on Israel, suspends trade talks and imposes sanctions amid Gaza conflict. The British government is increasing pressure on Israel over its military campaign in Gaza against the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas, by halting free trade talks and imposing sanctions on Israeli residents in the West Bank. On Tuesday, UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy described the situation in Gaza as abominable, sharply criticizing Israel's defensive campaign throughout the war-torn enclave and its handling of humanitarian aid. Despite an existing trade agreement between the two countries, the British diplomat warned that negotiations cannot proceed as long as the Jewish state pursues what he described as egregious policies in the West Bank and Gaza. "The world is judging," Lammy said in a statement. "History will judge them. Blocking aid. Expanding the war. Dismissing the concerns of your friends and partners. This is indefensible. And it must stop." Israel's foreign ministry denounced the UK government's latest decision as anti-Israel in a statement on X, arguing that the free trade agreement was mutually beneficial and in the best interests of both nations. If, due to anti-Israel obsession and domestic political considerations, the British government is willing to harm the British economy, that is its own prerogative, the statement read. The Israeli government also condemned the sanctions targeting Israeli residents in the West Bank, asserting that the UK's actions would not deter Israel from defending its security or its right to exist. The sanctions against residents of Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, are unjustified and regrettable, especially at a time when Israel is mourning yet another victim of Palestinian terror, Sila Gez, of blessed memory, who was murdered on her way to the delivery room, the statement read. The British mandate ended exactly 77 years ago. External pressure will not divert Israel from its path in defending its existence and security against enemies who seek its destruction, it continued, referring to Britain's administration in the early to mid-20th century over what is today Israel, Gaza, and the West Bank. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also criticized Israel's military campaign against Hamas, calling the suffering of children in Gaza utterly intolerable and urging an immediate ceasefire. "I want to put on record today that we are horrified by the escalation from Israel," Starmer said in a press conference. The UK's latest actions against Israel came just one day after the country joined France and Canada in a joint statement, warning that concrete measures would be taken if the Israeli government does not end its renewed military offensive and significantly ease restrictions on humanitarian aid. On Monday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu criticized the leaders of France, the UK, and Canada, accusing them of rewarding terrorism with their threats and condemning their stance. "By asking Israel to end a defensive war for our survival before Hamas terrorists on our border are destroyed, and by demanding a Palestinian state, the leaders in London, Ottawa, and Paris are offering a huge prize for the genocidal attack on Israel on October 7, while inviting more such atrocities," the Israeli leader said in a statement, referring to the Hamas-led invasion of and massacre across southern Israel on October 7, 2023, that started the current war. "The war can end tomorrow if the remaining hostages are released, Hamas lays down its arms, its murderous leaders are exiled, and Gaza is demilitarized. No nation can be expected to accept anything less, and Israel certainly won't," the statement continued. "This is a war of civilization over barbarism. Israel will continue to defend itself by just means until total victory is achieved." Meanwhile, Hamas welcomed the joint statement by the UK, France, and Canada, calling it a step in the right direction. A response that, according to Israeli officials, shows these countries are on the wrong side of history. When you're praised by Hamas, a jihadist terrorist organization that murders children and rapes women, you're on the wrong side of history, Israel's foreign ministry wrote in a post on X, "What a disgrace." Israel has strongly denied allegations of causing starvation in Gaza, emphasizing that, prior to its recent blockade, it had consistently delivered substantial humanitarian aid to the enclave throughout the conflict. Israeli officials have also stated that much of the aid entering Gaza is diverted by Hamas, which uses it to fund terrorist activities and sells the remainder at inflated prices to civilians in the enclave. Jerusalem has also argued that aid distribution should not be entrusted to international organizations, accusing them of allowing Hamas to seize supplies meant for the civilian population. According to media reports, Israel will resume humanitarian shipments through a U.S.-backed organization scheduled to begin operations in Gaza by the end of May. Around 60 trucks carrying essential food and household supplies will enter the Strip each day. Reference: The Algeminer.
Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.